There are many design choices that can be making your home look cheap. And as much as I don't like this word cheap, and I would never call anyone's home cheap, and I also know this topic is a bit harsh, but there are many people out there who are renovating, decorating, or selling their home, wondering what makes a home look cheap. So I've decided to make that video purely to help you understand what are those interior design mistakes that most people are making over and over again while styling their homes. I want to share them with you so you don't have to make these mistakes. Number 1, having flat pillows or too many pillows on your sofa. We all put pillows on our sofas in the living room. They make the room look cozy and elevated, but unfortunately also pillows can easily make your room look cheap, especially when they are flat. It doesn't matter how beautiful or expensive the cover of your pillow is. Having a very flat insert will just make your pillows look bad. So we need to be very mindful of that and avoid it at any cost. But don't worry, there is an easy fix for that. All you have to do is choose pillow inserts that are a size bigger than the cover itself, so they look nice and full when they are stuffed. It's very important because as much as pillows might seem silly and non-essential when it comes to your home, they can actually change the entire look of your room if chosen right or wrong. So even though they are not an essential item, they serve a purpose in your home and they shouldn't be an afterthought. But on the other hand, overstuffing your sofa or bed with too many pillows, especially when the pillows are completely different from each other, it's such a design turnoff and will make your room look cheap. We need to allow enough space for ourselves or our guests to sit comfortably without having to rearrange the whole setup. And frankly, putting too many pillows on your sofa will make it look cluttered no matter how beautiful they are. Please just keep that in mind. Now, the second thing that can make your home look cheap is a very, very common mistake that a lot of people make. I guess it comes a bit from wanting to save money because, as we know, furnishing an apartment is very expensive. But we need to be aware of that even if you choose the most beautiful living room furniture, if the furniture is too small or too big for the space, it will end up looking cheap. The same thing applies to bedrooms. Therefore, it's really important that your furniture is the right size and the right shape for your space. The other thing we need to remember is that the smaller things tend to look cheaper anyway, so we need to avoid them at all costs. If you have a big wall and a tiny piece of art, it will appear too small. The best thing is to choose a larger scale piece that is actually going to fit the space you have and it's going to be in proportion to the rest of the wall. Same thing with racks. What happens more often than you think is that people choose too small racks for their spaces. Racks need to be big enough so at least 2 front legs of your sofa rest on the rack. So it's always safe to go bigger than smaller because bigger rack will make your room look spacious and elegant. And small rack will make your room look disjointed and imbalanced. Number 3 is probably as common as the one I just spoke about, and it's about having fake plants in your home, especially the ones from IKEA. Don't get me wrong, in general, I don't think fake plants are tacky or look cheap. Interior designers, interior stylists, everyone uses them all the time and they can actually look beautiful. Sure, it would be great if we all had real plants in our homes, but I know it's not easy to keep them alive. However, personally, I'm not a big fan of fake plants. And I believe that most of them out there, unfortunately, look cheap and fake. So we need to be very careful choosing them. One of the biggest mistakes people make is choosing fake plants that don't actually look realistic. Low quality materials, unrealistic colors, and poorly designed foliage can make your plants look fake at first glance. A perfect example would be IKEA faux plants. This grass from IKEA I can see everywhere and it looks very, very cheap. But not only you can easily switch that fake grass for some example real branches that are very cheap to get and look much more beautiful, but also you can easily find fake plants that actually look realistic. The whole point of decorating with artificial plants is actually to trick the eye into believing that they are actually real. It's not to shout about their fakeness from the rooftop. To do so, you need to consider the quality of the artificial plant. Another thing we can do is mixing real plants and fake plants. By no means you have to commit solely to fake or real plants in your home. Mixing them will help to blur the line between what's real and what's not. Faux plants are a fantastic way to bring greenery into your room, but decorating with them might be tricky, so make sure you're not cheapening your home with choosing the ones that don't look real at all. Number 4, lack of texture. Have you ever looked at your room and you felt like something is missing, incomplete, or unfinished? Well, there might be many reasons why a room looks flat. but lack of texture and layering is definitely one of them. I'm very aware that people don't understand texture, what it is, why it's so important, and why we should have it in our home. So let me explain it first. Texture is pretty much everything we add, like rugs, curtains, pillows, throws, flowers, everything that makes our home beautiful. So that's why a home without texture is like dish without salt. Flat, uninviting, not very warm and cozy, and possibly unfinished. It feels like we just put our furniture and those basic pieces and forgot about the rest. It just gives off this cheap and uninviting feel, like we haven't made any effort in our home. Unfortunately, what we can see often is that people leave their surfaces naked, like kitchen counter, coffee table without styling, or sofas without any cozy items on it. It makes our rooms look cheap and flat. On the other hand, adding texture can right away make a room feel more interesting, welcoming, and delightful to look at. Texture is the simple element which brings so much warmth, style, and personality to your home, and the good news is that we can add texture in so many ways. As mentioned before, even flowers add texture to our rooms, and it's the easiest thing to add. Please make sure you add texture into your space so your home feels visually interesting and luxurious right away. It is important to have a cohesive look in your home, but having everything match will make your home look generic and uninspiring. I would encourage you to avoid matching furniture where everything is the same material, color, and silhouette. Most of the time, it will just instantly give your home a showroom look, not a lived-in space where nothing is curated and there's not much thought behind it. So flat pack furniture, especially matching sets from places like IKEA, should be avoided if you're looking to achieve the high-end look in your home, because rooms with matching furniture lack character and look flat. I am aware that people are choosing flat pack furniture due to their cost. However, filling your home with matching furniture will not help you achieve the look you're looking for. It gives a generic and mass-produced appearance where there is no depth to the design and everything is the same, so I really encourage you to try mixing up the furniture you purchase. Mix and match the furniture that have different colors, materials, and texture. Opt for mixing wood tones and finishes that add visual interest. Actually, mixing furniture is a design concept that should be used everywhere in your home. Your dining table and chairs shouldn't match, but they should complement each other very well. Select pieces that complement each other and look good together, but are different in style, colors, and wood tone. That will give you this luxurious look in your home. Now, very common, probably the main thing that can make your home look cheap is clutter and a home that is not well organized and not well maintained. There is something about clean, well-pristine homes that looks very expensive and luxurious. And it doesn't matter if you know all the interior design trends or tips. If your home is filled with clutter, it will just look cheap. So what can we do about it? There are a couple of things I recommend. Clutter in the home is visually distracting, but what happens often is that we become clutter blind. I think it happens to all of us, so it's good to be reminded of it. What I mean by that is that sometimes we don't even realize that there is so much clutter that has been accumulated in our home. So what I recommend doing regular is taking a picture of your rooms, try to look at it and see the things that are messy, unnecessary, and distracting, or just don't look nice in your home. It's always easier to see those things on the picture, so I really recommend doing that. That's my absolutely favorite thing to do. Another rule that is worth following: don't have in your home things that you don't believe to be beautiful or don't believe to be useful in your home. And remove everything that doesn't fit in those two categories. This will help you to streamline your interior design, letting those beautiful pieces of your furniture shine. And the third thing, organization. Lack of organization gives an impression of neglect and chaos. When the space is filled with too many items and there is no clear sense of order, it appears messy and unkept. And this also distracts from the home aesthetic appeal. It just feels very cramped and overwhelming. So using storage solutions, shelves, bins, organizers, cabinets to keep things in their place can really transform your home to look clean, streamlined, and visually pleasing. So do evaluate your clutter and organizational situation quite often. Number 7, last but not least, I cannot mention the hallway here. Entryway is the first thing people see when they come to our home, and yet we often treat it as an afterthought. It's often cluttered with too many things on display, making it uninviting for your guests and, most importantly, setting the wrong tone and the wrong first impression of your home. It never looks nice when there is a big pile of messy shoes when you're walking into your home. I know it happens to all of us, but I think it's also good to be reminded. But also, all of this is quite easy fix. You can add a console table or a lovely bench, Flash flowers, and those things will make your entryway more welcoming right away. If you don't have much space there, hooks might be a great solution. They don't take up too much space but look beautiful at the same time. Having a place to hang up things right as you come in the door is a game changer. Even if you have a small budget, there is still lots you can do to make an impact in your hallway. Start by giving this space a deep clean and declutter. As ever, be brutal and get rid of anything you no longer love or need. This is something I do regularly and it always makes a difference. I promise you, small simple touches can make a big difference about how you feel about your entryway. Now, if you enjoyed this video or you actually want to know how to make your home look expensive, luxurious, and elegant, you need to watch this video next and you'll get so much more tips and tricks how to make your home look expensive. I will see you in that video and make sure to subscribe before leaving my channel.